So, hello. Welcome to the podcast. It's called The Float Circle. The Float Circle is a podcast about self-doubt. And basically, each episode we're gonna dissect and analyze an article that we choose. And each episode we're gonna choose a theme that is connected or derived from self-doubt. So this episode is gonna be imposter syndrome. We need to present ourselves. Woo.
Oh,
Um,
should I start?
yeah, you can start.
So hi, my name is Tom. I'm originally from Israel. I live already 5 years in London, and I'm on my third year in graphic communication design at UAL Central St. Martin's.
Nice.
Fifth year in London.
Oh, 50 year in London, okay. Okay, hi, my name is Yara. It's been 4 years now that I've been living in London and 4 years that I've been studying with UAL.
That's it. I'm Caterina. I'm from Italy, and I've been in London since like 2017. So a long time. And yes, I studied graphic communication design, same course. Everything that I'm gonna say is taken from the article "How to Overcome Imposter Syndrome" from Jeremy Sutton. Dr. Jeremy Sutton. He has a PhD.
Important. He worked hard for it.
Yeah. And what is imposter syndrome? The definition is, according to the psychologists Joe Lenford and Pauline Clance, 1993, imposter syndrome is the idea that our accomplishments came about not through genuine ability, but as a result of having been lucky. Do you think it resonates with you?
Can you explain that further?
You fix a goal for yourself, you manage to reach that goal, but at the end you're like, okay, I reached that goal, but was it me?
possible? Yeah.
Was it my abilities? Or
Was it just luck?
yeah, exactly. So what do you think?
I mean, for me, it depends on what. I know that, let's say, for being accepted to Central St. Martin's was a process very hard that I worked very hard for, and I feel like I achieved it. But on the other side, let's say, the job I work in today was kind of lucky. I was in the right place with the right people at the right time. So it depends really on what exactly I would look at. So,
Mhm.
it-
What
it
do you think,
varies.
Yaro?
Again, I agree with Tom. I think being accepted to CSM was, I worked really hard to do in order to get there, and I don't think it's luck. But in other situations, yes, I can say
Mhm.
probably it is.
Yeah, I think there's always like a little bit of luck in that.
Yeah, there
Like,
is.
you can't fix a goal and then reach that goal just because you put like so much effort in it, because sometimes people don't have the same possibilities as everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it's your abilities but also a little bit of luck.
Yeah. I forgot about that point, is that the fact that there's a lot of luck in it, to
Yeah.
be fair, and I didn't even think about it. Makes sense. Being financially stable, being in a family that can provide to you, stuff like that, having the right resources like internet, computers and the technology and stuff like that, not everyone can access, and you're 100% right.
Yeah,
There's a lot of luck, I would say.
I think I'll do like
No, it's
a jingle or an intro, something like that, with the logo, and that's it.
Yeah, we can do
Imposter syndrome.
The whole video is Tom touching her hair,
Oh
me
my
fidgeting
God.
every 2 seconds.
I know.
And Kate being
We
like,
probably need to
calm
do
down,
this
girl.
again. But
Going back to imposter syndrome.
that's the most messy podcast.
Yeah. I mean, what do you expect? Like ADHD, anxiety.
and dyslexic. We
Yeah.
have all the rainbow of difficulties right here.
Nice. I mean, I think it also connects to that because, through our experiences, like, neurodivergent people and people with anxiety tend to like self-doubt a lot and imposter syndrome. I think like personally it was always with me since the beginning of the course till right now, which is the end.
I mean, in one point, I do feel like sometimes oh my God, I'm in St. Joseph Martins. How did I get here? Like, obviously, I worked hard. Yeah, I deserve it, whatever. But, like, sometimes, like, am I okay? Like, Open Studios, for example. I look at all the work and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I would never get to this point. So I kind of have the same self-doubt. But then if I do, like, a project that I myself really like, I would not compare it. I'll just like it. So
Where do we think imposter syndrome comes from?
self-doubt.
Yeah, self-doubt. I think that the inclusive term, it's self-doubt.
Self-doubt, of course.
Do you feel like you guys improved since the first year at uni? Like,
Oh, definitely.
looking at yourself, first year of uni and now imposter syndrome wise, do you feel like you've built up
Developed.
or you grew out of it a bit?
Yes and no, because right now, like my problem is that I'm approaching the world of like, you know,
Professional.
graphic design, professional graphic design, and basically right now, instead of having imposter syndrome in an educational context, I have it like in a work context. So I'm just like looking around of like what everyone's doing. Everyone's so professional. Like each work is so polished, and I'm just concerned about, you know, the simple things, like the normal, ordinary things that someone would do at work. Now I have like self-doubt
No, makes a
for
lot of
those abilities.
Yeah.
Because, you know, since you like, until you are in educational context, okay, it's fine. You feel like it's a little bit sheltered. But then when you
Alone.
like, yeah, when you are alone by yourself, you're just like, okay, if I mess up, it's on me.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I feel like taking responsibility is like a big part of it.
But this is why I feel like our courses helps us a lot because it's very self-directed. And I feel like with these two projects, we're training to get to this because it's very self-directed. So we have all our responsibility in our hands. So if you don't do the work, it's your responsibility. And I feel like work life is going to be like that and even better because you're choosing what to take. You're choosing the projects in a way.
It depends. If you're freelance, maybe.
Yeah.
If you work for a company, for example, I don't know if you have like the freedom to do that.
But I feel like also with a community of practice, like they kind of directing you into what industry you're going to go at and what is more interesting for you, which means that you're going to be more confident on the subject you're going to be exposed to in the future. As you said, like within companies, I feel like it will be much more like on point. So you're basically there to supply to the customer something. So it won't be as self-directed as it now. But I feel like on contrast with the uni course, it's kind of making you understand what you enjoy more, like if it's doing a podcast, if it's designing for a marketing agency.
Sorry, I'm interrupting, but I feel like as well, another thing that I learned during UAL is that for once we've been put with a lot of designers, a lot of people that are interested in the same things that you like as well. And I feel like when you're going to be in this professional world, the work is not all on you. You're going to be divided into different teams. Like the roles and responsibilities will be divided. Everyone has his own skills, everyone has his own talents. And I feel like this as well motivates me and pushes me and helps me to know that, okay, I can't have all the skills in the world. You know, some people are good at photography, some people are good in animation, some people are good in strategies and identity. I don't know, you know. Yeah, it's a group work at the end. I see it that way.
From my perspective, I like doing like a little bit of everything. I don't have a focused thing. Lately, I'm more like into publications and things like that. But the fact that I can't be what I like really creates a little bit of anxiety, you know.
But maybe
Because
it
you're
takes time. Maybe it takes
Yeah.
time. Some people find out what they want since they were kids. Some people takes them years to find out what they're interested in. I just have a question. When you go to open studios and you see everyone's work, do you feel intimidated by other people's work when it comes to different medias, or is it just publication?
Oh, it's everything.
It's everything.
I think, yeah, you see these incredible works and you tend to diminish your work.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I did a poster. Like,
Happens to me all the time. I
Yeah.
feel like this is when the imposter syndrome kicks in.
Yeah.
I see, as I said, like I automatically compare myself, but on the other side, it kind of pushes me to be better.
Yeah.
And want to do more.
Yeah.
And kind of see myself in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, what can I do in order to improve myself? What other skills do I need in order to get a job when I'm gonna be finishing the course?
I think Tom said very important things right now. First of all, she said that she always compares herself to others. I feel like this is a huge thing, and I think this fits into imposter syndrome a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is the fact that we see it wrong when we compare ourselves to other people. I don't see it as something wrong. I think you should compare yourself to other people in a sense where if you do that, if you compare yourself to others, then you're comparing what you want to have and what you wish you had. So in my opinion, I take it as a motivation to grow and take it better. While I was reading the paper about imposter syndrome, I realized that like how to cope with it, be positive with it. And I've been always, every time after open studio, I text my family. I'm like, oh, my project was not nice at all. I always compare it to other people.
Yeah.
Then my brother, he's like, yeah, compare yourself. Take it as a motivation to grow and get better. And it's easier said than done, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But just saying that helped me a lot for some reason. It did.
Maybe it's just not like comparison, but taking some things as suggestions. Maybe, oh, this is something that I could, work on and like improve. And that's how this person did it. And that's how maybe I could do that.
Exactly. It's all about inspiring each other, in my opinion.
Bravata, I think it's Bravata. I think it's Italian. I don't know. and other people, it's a study, suggests that imposter syndrome describes high achievers who, despite their objective successes, fail to internalize their accomplishments and have persistent self-doubt and fear of being exposed as a fraud or imposter. And I think that as an high achiever, like I always put goals in front of myself, which are kind of, obstacles sometimes. And when I overcome that, I'm just like, okay, I did it, good. But then I find someone who does it, better. And you're like, oh, no.
But you're only learning. You're only learning and growing, in my opinion.
Yeah. This microphone is just learning.
Yeah, it's not going to stop. You're always going to feel this way. And I think it comes from just the person that you are and a personality, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe it's perfectionism.
I think it's something very natural to feel as well.
Yeah.
Like I do it all the time. Something, okay, I achieved this, okay, well done. And then, okay, after the hype is going down, I'm like, okay, I need to do more now. What's my next, adventure or challenge or you name it. So there is always like, even having dreams in general, like I feel like even if you go to that point, you will always have something, bigger and better to achieve. It's like a never-ending story. It's always like goes around.
How do you think imposter syndrome started? Do you think it's something that you're born with, or is it something that you've been educated or raised or influenced?
I think it's something that comes within like a community.
Yeah.
Like it's a social thing.
It's higher expectations and never.
Yeah. It's like when you're alone and you're doing your stuff, you're like, even like if you manage to do a castle of cards, you're like, oh my God, I did that. Yeah. And then another person does a building of cards and you're like, oh, okay.
Disregard what you did. You throw away that little bit of an effort that you did. Yeah.
But actually, I think that we need to like concentrate more on ourselves than others, what others are doing.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I'm not saying, oh, go your own way, don't think about, like, other people and what others doing, because sometimes you can be left out by, the times changing.
Yeah.
So you need to, update yourself every
Always
time.
push yourself.
Always push yourself, but at the same time be kind to yourself, because you never know. Like, maybe you're comparing yourself to another person who did like a course, for example, on 3D stuff.
And you've
And you can't, like,
Yeah.
you've never tried to do these kinds of things, and you do like a donut. Just random references, like a donut on Blender. And you're like, okay, that's a good work, I like it. And then you see another person doing like a very nice model, and you're like, oh god, no, I want to be in that position. But it takes practice. I mean,
It takes a lot.
exactly.
and patience.
And depends like who's surrounding you. So the more people, like I know a lot of people in the course, let's say that they have friends that are like professionally in a subject, let's say 3D rendering and stuff like that. I know that if I would ask somebody or probably go and look at tutorials, it would be completely different, because then like the friends that know it can help you like much quicker.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I know that if I would sit on a tutorial for like, say, 2 hours, I will get the knowledge for myself. And this is like the comparison of how like a shortcut can make it easy, but you can probably forget it quicker.
Those who are facing imposter syndrome, the article says, find it difficult to attribute positive performance to their skills and competence. And bizarrely, it can feel worse when we are doing something really well. So, for
If you're
example,
doing something well, imposter
Yeah.
syndrome kicks in harder
yeah,
on you.
I
How
think
come?
that if you, like, for example, reach very high goals and standards, for example, you gotta become like the Prime Minister of the UK. That
Never.
would be nice. No, I actually think that would be nice.
I would never.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, then imposter syndrome kicks in harder, because you have also like all these doubts. Like, are you in this place because you needed to be in this
Yeah.
place and you wanted to be in this place, or just because like of luck, like the definition before? Was it luck, or was it your abilities?
Can I? Yeah, I'm just wondering if you reached a very high position in your life that you like and you're satisfied, don't you get this confidence of having a name out there? So having this imposter syndrome, wouldn't it be starting to call something else? Or is it still imposter syndrome?
I think it's still imposter syndrome, because you think like,
You're like, how
You're
the hell
out
did
of
I
place.
got here?
yeah,
In a lot of like, if you see a lot of documentaries, for example, for people that go in a really really high position, they're like
They
like, oh
lose
my,
control.
I- they most of the time they would be like on outside, they would look as if they are like the happiest and the most successful, and they have a lot of power and money or whatever you name it, but inside they are kind of blank.
But is it because of their position, or is it because of what they're seeing now that they're in this position?
I feel like it creates a lot of anxiety in general, like
In general,
some facts about imposter syndrome. It affects equally men and women.
no gender gap there.
No gender gap, yes. Some evidence suggests that the perception of imposter syndrome reduces with age. So when you
Makes
get
sense.
older, if you
makes
get
sense.
older, you're like, I don't really mind. Yeah, and an association with depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem and social dysfunction.
so these are the effects of imposter syndrome.
That's facts.
Facts
Yeah,
about
facts
it.
about
I
imposter
mean,
syndrome.
if you look at famous people specifically, I think they're like the perfect example, because most of them are quite alone. I just saw now a documentary about one of the most famous singers in Israel, and he was like in a couple and, this and that. And then in his documentary, he's talking about they were in the peak of their like career, and everybody was like going off, and like they made a lot of money, but then inside they were fighting a lot, and they were like in kind of depression and kind of separated. But outside you would never notice it or understand it.
It's a
Yeah.
general thing, I think. It's I wouldn't limit it to just celebrities.
No. I mean, just because I saw a specific documentary which kind of put it out there.
I think that also there's like a factor of, privacy in this case. Like if you're in the public eye and you want to be private with your life, you can't really, and you need to, shove all the things under the rug, or just like keep it to yourself, be
Or confront them, on the contrary.
Confront
I
them?
mean,
But tabloids can be very, very harsh sometimes, and if you don't want to deal with that, it's okay to just be private, and that's it. Yeah.
And there's more pressure on you, and you have more responsibilities, I think.
Yeah.
When you're famous, or
That's why I
it's
think.
harder.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're in the public's eye, so.
Yeah, and I think also more responsibility. It connects to the fact that when you achieve like high standards, you get more imposter syndrome, because from big powers.
some greater responsibility.
Yeah,
No, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man teaches.
He's a celeb.
Yeah,
You learned this from Spider-Man?
yeah, Spider-Man, cited from Spider-Man.
What a reference.
So how do we actively usually manage these feelings? Like, for example, for me that I have anxiety, like sometimes when my anxiety is very strong, I continue to scratch myself. I have high palpitation. My leg starts going like crazy. And in these moments, there are some days in which I can deal with these things, some days in which I'm not strong enough, and I'm just like, okay, why am I here? Why?
But when you're put under this feeling of anxiety, and you know it's imposter syndrome, now that you've studied about it, if you can pinpoint imposter syndrome, do you feel like okay, you're in a stressful, you're like, okay, this is me being, this is me going through this imposter syndrome situation. Do you feel relaxed when pointing it out and
Yeah, I
knowing
mean,
all the facts about it?
what really helps me is talking about it.
Yeah.
So with everything that connects to my anxiety, if I talk, if I communicate, for other people, maybe it would be different. Maybe it's like relaxation. Maybe it's just like focusing on one task. That's it. But for me, it's more communication. I like to talk to other people, and I want to hear other point of views. So basically, for me, if I talk maybe to my mother, I call my mother and I'm just like, Mom, I don't really like how my project is going right
For
now.
reassurance. You
Yeah.
ask for reassurance.
Yeah, reassurance, and maybe just like not finding solutions to that. I don't really like when people try to find solutions for me. I like when people listen to what I need to say, and then when I feel understood, then I calm down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
makes sense.
people reassures me like, it's gonna be okay, don't worry. And then I talk them through my whole idea, and then some things come out because people ask questions. They get interested in what you're doing. So that always helped me to like develop projects.
It's funny. I'm the complete opposite. I always look for solutions. I always look for like, okay, what's my next step? What am I supposed to do? What is better? How can I improve it? Like I would, if I express myself and somebody said, "Oh, it's gonna be alright," I get pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's not gonna be alright if I'm not gonna improve it. I need to do something in order for it to develop. I'm very realistic in that part.
Yeah.
Like my anxiety comes only when I'm by myself, when I'm having like a Tom day.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that already. But for me, the anxiety will be only when I'm by myself. I'll put like depressing music. I'll take it all out in one day, like a session for myself, and the day after, I'm back to normal.
Listening to Celine Dion.
Let's just say Celine Dion is a bit
Old school.
old school. But no, it depends. I like, covers. piano.
Do you wanna sing
Yeah.
something?
Not today. I finished my singing career a long time ago.
So yeah, I mean, for me, yes. Also, when people like try to say, "Oh, it's gonna be okay," and they don't give like other inputs, I'm just like
Yeah.
I'm pissed off as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if they like combine this with like,
Yeah.
okay, talk me through your work, and then
Yeah.
I talk, and then maybe their questions made me think of something
Yeah.
that I never thought about, and I'm like, oh, okay, I came up with an idea, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't
No,
want pity.
no.
You want someone to be there and to listen.
Understanding.
Yeah,
It's a
understanding.
massive difference between pity and understanding.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to be very like intelligent. How do you say it?
To you emotionally.
Emotionally, but like in a good feedback. Like as you said, like constructive criticism. In a you know somewhere to develop. It's like
And
when you.
something that will motivate you.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
comment that will motivate you. Like, okay, reassure me and listen to me, but you can say some. At least this is how it is to me.
Yeah.
Just something that will push you. Just small words of reassurance that
Yeah.
make a lot of difference. I think, like you said, something that will inspire you to move forward as well. Maybe like the questions they ask or something.
when
Maybe
you-
not like the usual, you know, oh, everything's okay, because not everything.
Oh, when you
everything's
feel an
not okay.
understanding in a
But-
conversation.
Yeah, just like calm down. Okay, I'm here for you.
Tell me what's the problem.
Tell me. I can help you.
Yeah.
That's way better.
Yeah, absolutely.
What could trigger, like, which situation could trigger, like, our imposter syndrome? Do you think also, like, in the perspective of a neurodiverse person, or like a person who has anxiety, a person who has depression?
To me, it's being a perfectionist. To me, this is the most annoying thing ever. And learning slowly that there's nothing called perfect in
Yeah.
general. That
And I
is
think-
easier said than done. But
Yeah, I think that also being a perfectionist, it clashes with your ADHD sometimes.
thank you.
You can have ADHD and be a high achiever, of course.
No, but it is
But
a
it's-
symptom
it's
of
not
ADHD,
easy.
probably, to be a perfectionist. But at the same time, it clashes, like you said, because people with ADHD tend to be multitaskers.
Yeah.
So you can't be focusing on one thing. You focus on 1,000 things at the same time, which is very hard to do. And like you said, there's a lot of anxiety and you feel things stronger when you have ADHD. And I feel like low self-esteem is one of the biggest things. And being a perfectionist is so hard and so pressuring because it's always trying to achieve something that is impossible.
Running in circles.
Yeah, you're running in circles, but no, just stay where you are, focus on that one thing, and that's it. You know, it's easier than what you think it is. And you had a meltdown. You had a
Yeah.
meltdown. It's not normal to have a meltdown when you're perfectly capable of.
Yeah, but
Giving-
you see it as a perfectly capable. For me, I see it like
No, I understand.
I
it.
completely compare myself to everyone else, and I know that I would struggle much more than anyone in the course. Like being a second language, being dyslexic.
also.
Like with dyslexia come a lot of difficulties. It's not just the reading and writing. It's also like sitting on a chair for specific amounts of hours. Obviously, if I do the design, I don't feel it because I'm not focusing on the written.
You're focusing on something that
I'm
interests
focusing on something that I really like and enjoy even. Like give me to, play with colors and shapes, I'm happy. Give me to mess around with
Numbers.
a structure of an essay, kill me.
Yeah.
Like really, it's
Yeah.
and I will always think that if I would speak it, I would probably get, a better grade than what I have got already. And like, for me, every time I get a B or whatever, I know that if I would be, I don't know, born in England, if English was my first language, if I didn't have dyslexia, I would probably, be on top of the class, on top of whatever I can achieve.
What do you think is a solution that would help you?
I mean, I get all the solution possible. I basically harass the teachers to help me more. I get extra lessons in order to develop, and I put much more hours than a lot of people do in order to make it the best I can. Or now I discover AI, which write it for me. Which is fucking amazing. Sorry for
Nice.
my language, but it's really good and it's really helpful. And I feel like in the future, a lot of dyslexic people like myself will benefit from it, like the technology coming up. Obviously, on one side, I think it's a bit robotic, but that's why you go over it and have to fix it. And luckily, I have some friends that can help me with the language.
Yeah, even though like I have imposter syndrome also on that. Like I've been here for almost 6 years right now. And basically my English is not perfect, obviously. Like my mother tongue is Italian. I don't speak English. Like pronunciation also is very hard for me because like Italian pronunciation is completely different. You're like and people here can roll R's. So
Yeah.
yeah, so basically even that, like when you do presentations, like even in my case, I'm just like, why I can't speak like everyone? Why also my grammar is not that good? Like, and I feel like I doubt myself and just like, yeah, imposter syndrome kicks in.
No, but I agree. I feel the same way when I speak as well.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people here. I'm always like, I'm sorry. I apologize for my English.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to do something.
Well,
like
I never
that.
did that. I
Yeah.
never apologized for my
I'm like, I'm
English.
sorry for my. They're like,
You
oh,
half
you're
English though.
good.
But you know, I mean, for me, English was
Yeah, it was not your mother tongue.
no. I spoke Hebrew all my life. Yeah, obviously, like with my grandma and stuff, I was speaking English. My cousins, whatever. But it would never like sitting in my English table family. I always feel like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, am I stupid or like just not aware of a lot of things that they grew up with? You know, it's still my second language. I can pretend to speak a bit of English or have a bit of accent, but sitting in a proper English family table, I feel like second best. You
Of
know.
course,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's why I hate also presentations, because if I could do it in Italian, maybe it would be better.
Yeah.
I would be more confident in my abilities, because I struggle also with social anxiety sometimes. And I'm not the most
Easier to
social.
express yourself in your own
Yeah,
language.
that's why. Yeah, and being in front of a crowd, like I don't know. Sometimes I have complete like blank
Yeah.
in my head for 3 seconds,
Yeah.
and then I come back to the surf. Even my voice trembling, I can hear it and just like,
Shaking.
why am I doing this? So yeah, how to overcome that? I don't. Sometimes
I think
like
it's practice.
it's just like I have many discussions with myself in my head while this is happening. So basically, during the presentation,
You have
just
two people in your head talking.
yeah,
to you.
yeah, talking to myself and then presenting as well. So it's just like a lot of work, but mental work, and that's why after presentations I'm just like so much drained. I try to stay calm, repeat to myself, okay, you can do it. Don't worry. You did it before. You tried multiple times. You know, you can do it. You know it.
Hearing all of this, I feel like there is one point in common, which is fear.
Yeah.
And everything, it's fear. But what is it? What is it?
Fear of
Yeah.
not successing.
The
Like,
fear of not successing. Yeah.
That's why high achievers can have this thing.
It's humility, it's
Yeah.
fear. So what?
You
So
know-
what if you get blank in a presentation? So what if you forget
yeah,
your
but
words?
imagine,
So what?
imagine having like a massive project in a massive company and you have to present it. Somebody's buying your product, you know, you can't mumble or have a blackout. It's not uni anymore. Like imagine it in a real life scenario. That's not acceptable.
Yeah, so there is this pressure of being successful and being normal in a way, and being just not fidgety, not showing any kind of anxiety. So there is some kind of a model that you have to follow, and I feel like we have this fear of not following this model that is in our head, and I think that's wrong, and I think that's the whole imposter syndrome in
yeah,
a way.
maybe we forgot how it is to be human sometimes.
Yeah, no,
Even
I
in these
agree.
professional situations.
Especially in this professional situation. Because now it's all, as they say, now it's your time to practice and do wrong and do whatever
Yeah.
you want. But guess what? In a few months from now, you want to get paid for it. Nobody's going to give a shit if you're scared or if you have imposter syndrome or not. You have to, you know, get your stuff together and pull it off and pretend as if nothing happened and I don't have fear and I have confidence. Like, this is something we will all have to deal with.
But I feel like it's a good practice at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
To be faced with all
absolutely.
of that is good because you'll be facing all
course.
this fear.
I mean, I would appreciate if uni would have more presentations in order for us to, develop our confidence between our classmates.
I agree because that's a really big part of life later after uni. That goes hand in hand with the career. It's being able to be confident enough to
Sure.
share your work and present your work and with confidence. And you're 100% right.
The article says that success is in addressing or at least reducing imposter syndrome most likely results from supporting our internal constructs. Take these confrontations with others, in a positive way. Like, how can I improve in that?
Like
doing
you,
that?
when you want reassurance and
Yeah.
when you have a problem and talk to others.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
good. Yeah.
Then practicing visualization, like you can visualize.
I'm gonna win it. I'm gonna get an
Yeah.
A. That's why I said
Yeah.
like before submitting, I'm gonna get an A. I'm gonna get an A.
And then use a positive self-talk. So what I'm doing during my presentations.
Yeah, like,
just, okay.
You
okay.
say you want an A, I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. Whatever comes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself mentally.
Adopting positive coping mechanisms.
Mm.
So maybe not crushing yourself each weekend with your friends, but
Wait, are you talking to us?
no.
Cut.
Too much information. Do not share this.
Yeah. But yeah, adopting a positive coping mechanism. So maybe like sometimes when I'm stressed, what I really do is just like take a piano, play a song, sing, or just
wish
listen
that
to
would be my
music.
case.
Sometimes, oh my god, I really like. I have carpet.
You like laying down
floor
on the
of my house.
carpet?
Yeah, not usually like the carpet because in Italy we don't have the carpet. It's an English thing, but I like feeling the ground underneath me. So maybe like just laying on the ground. I really like
That's
laying on
interesting.
grass.
Yeah.
So
I do
that relaxes
meditations.
me a lot.
That's a kind of meditation. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be listening to music, laying on the ground. That's perfect. Like and soaking the sun. That's like I'm in
When is
heaven.
the sun coming? I don't know.
Yeah, where? So basically,
Is there a spectrum of
yeah.
imposter syndrome?
Yeah, there's a spectrum of imposter syndrome because I think everything that is linked to humanity and psychology, it has a spectrum because not everyone is the same.
Yeah.
Not everyone
Has the
thinks the
same
same.
experiences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think it should be malleable as people are malleable. The article also says how to assess imposter syndrome, and there are 2 tests and questions. Mac Kleitman, if I'm pronouncing it well, and Abbott, 2019, identified several tools that can help identify imposter syndrome. 2 of the most effective ones are mentioned here. The Clance Imposter Syndrome Phenomenon Scale contains 20 statements assessed on a scale between 1, not at all true, and 5, very true. So we have some examples here. I can give the impression that I'm more competent than I really am. That's one of the sentences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Fake it
so.
till you make it. Just
When people praise me for something that I've accomplished, I'm afraid I won't be able to live up to their expectations of me in the future. Oh my God. Expectations
Yes.
for me are the worst. Like I don't, oh my
When
God.
people praise you, even.
Yeah. Yeah, because like, oh, what if I fall down from their pedestal? I don't know. Like they have all these expectations on me, and like, what if I don't live up to those expectations? What if I like mess up and then I can't like, and then anxiety.
Interesting.
of
To me,
course.
it's the opposite. If someone
Really?
praises me for something I've done, it will push me to do better and do more.
Oh.
I
I mean,
don't
it
know.
depends where
Depends.
who
Yeah.
who's saying
Yeah.
it and how they say it
Yeah.
and why they say it.
Yeah.
If it comes with intentions, I don't really take it into consideration. If it's somebody that is really close to me, I'm like, okay, good on me. Like, okay, they're proud of me. Or again,
Someone professional as well. It means a lot.
if it's somebody professional, then I get anxieties.
Really.
Because like it's like good, but then okay, I need to do better now.
Yeah, so there is this pressure of, okay,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did well.
Now I
Okay,
need to
I need
do
to
better.
improve myself
Yeah.
even more, like to prove.
I don't like when people praise only. I don't like
No.
It's fake.
people saying, "Oh, this is nice. I like your work," and then that's it.
Yeah,
I like motivations. Why do you like my work? Like, what's the details that really
Do
make
you
you
ask
think, "Oh, this is
after
different"?
when someone says, I like your work?
Sometimes,
do
yeah.
Do you say, why do
like-
you like my work?
Yeah. Sometimes I prefer, because some people can't really answer to that. Sometimes some people just like things and that's it, and that's completely fine.
No, but they like
But
it for a reason.
it's
There's
a-
a reason
yeah.
behind it. There's always a reason behind it.
Yeah, but as a graphic designer, it helps me to like identify what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. If so many people like tell me, "Oh, this part of your work is really good," that's what I'm doing right. You know.
So you wish students behaved like tutors?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Sometimes,
way.
yeah. Then the other sentence is, I'm afraid people important to me may find out that I'm not as capable as they think I am. Yes. If my family think like I'm some sort of genius, I'm just like, no, please.
I'm normal.
Yeah, I'm just not.
I never send my stuff to my family.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
always
me too.
disappointed
That's
from my work, and I'm always like, I don't want you to think,
yeah.
which is very wrong.
I
Yeah.
mean, my friend was saying to me the other day, like, why don't you post your stuff? I'm like, I do for myself. I don't need anyone, you know. I don't want other people's comments for now. And most of the time it's kind of, I'm not even sure about it. So I rather see it for myself. And then either like people from the course, obviously I will show and ask. But then when it's somebody from the outside that doesn't perhaps know what I'm doing, it's just gonna say, "Oh wow, that's nice," but
Yeah.
I don't really need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I feel like it's just gonna be a waste of air. Like, you know, I mean, to tell me it's nice, it doesn't really help me in any way.
Yeah.
No, but it makes sense that someone outside would say it's nice because they don't know what the
Yeah, exactly.
techniques, they don't know the professional. So, in my opinion, if someone says it's nice, it's a reassurance, you know, because then again, they're your audience as well. They might be an audience to you. The audience is not always the students that are with you.
I mean, the option of, you know, friends and family saying, "Oh my God, that's horrible," is basically non-existing.
No, but when your friend says, oh, that's nice, why don't you ask them, what did you like about it?
Sometimes I feel or believe that my success in life or my job has resulted from some kind of error. I often worry about not succeeding with a project or examination, even though others around me have considerable confidence that I will do well. That's one thing that really resonates with me. And if you score 40 or less, indicates few imposter characteristics, while those that score over 80 suggest intense experiences. Intense. Then the Harvey Imposter Scale, HIPS, is a 14-item questionnaire scored between 1 and 7, where a high score indicates a high level of imposter feelings. And items on the question include: people tend to believe I am more competent than I really am. Same thing as before. Sometimes I am afraid I will be discovered for who I really am. Yeah, what's your true self? Like, are you an imposter or a true person? Yeah, that's...
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I really want to do the test.
Yeah.
Do it.
I have often felt I am in my present position or academic program through some kind of mistake. I tend to feel like a phony. I often feel I am concealing secrets about myself from others. Yes, that's obviously, like, always. But
We
I
all
mean-
have our own secret.
yeah, of course. Why I like having secrets with myself. Why not? Research suggests that both scales are legitimate and valid ways of measuring imposter syndrome and useful additions to any therapist toolkit.
Did you say useful addictions?
Additions.
Oh.
Let's choose an exercise. I think we could do like the breathing exercise. Why not?
Are we gonna
Breathe awareness.
exercise?
Sitting in an upright position or laying down on your back, find a comfortable position you can sustain for a few minutes, okay? Release any unnecessary attention and gently bring your awareness to your breath. You only need to observe your breath. Do not change anything.
Observe it.
Observe, yeah. With each inhalation and exhalation, observe the movements and sensations in your body. Let your attention travel with the air passing through your nose and throat and lungs, feeling the expansion of the chest and belly. Continue doing this for a few minutes.
I like how you're doing that.
That-
Namaste.
Yeah, I think that if there's like a soothing voice, it's easier. You know,
Yes, definitely.
Do you feel more relaxed?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
It's my meditation. Usually I put it like with the soothing music.
Another thing that could help in processing,
maybe
meditate.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is meditation.
Yeah.
Even to sleep, I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
How
I've-
do you feel, Kate?
Do you feel
I feel less stressed, less anxious, because before that I was anxious. Now that it's done, I feel excited, full of energy. Yeah.
good luck editing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good luck
exactly.
editing. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
Thank you, Kate, for inviting us.
You're welcome. Thank you for
pleasure.
coming.
Always.
And yeah, please leave the comments down below.
Don't forget
let us
to press like
and subscribe. Now, I just want to know other people's opinions. So put your thoughts, any other topic connected to self-doubt that we could expand to, like, in the next episode. I can't even talk right now. Okay.
In the next episode, we
In
will
the next
expand all the information you
Yeah.
guys want us
She's
to.
good.
And if you have
I told
any
you,
other, yeah,
I can do my off, like proper professional voice if you want.
yeah, that's true.
That's
No,
scary.
please
I know.
tell if you have any
If you
recommendations
have any
for
recommendation for the next episode for
Yeah.
us to share
articles.
and articles to communicate about and have a discussion of, please comment on a.
Please. Oh yes, that's perfect. Okay. See you. Bye.
See ya. Never wanna be ya.
So extra.
No, wait, we do it again.
You know.
Oh Yara, 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 stop fucking complaining, Yara. It's all about us. It's all about you, baby.
Why